All right, so we are going to fill out the study guide today for variation of traits. Please feel free to pause the video along the way so that you can get this information entered on your study guide. Due to the time constraints of this video, we'll see how far we can get. It may be in several pieces, so just bear with me as we go through this. So with variation of traits, your test date is set for November 17th, 2020. So make sure you have that test date on your study guide. All right, moving on to question 1. What are inherited traits? Well, as we kind of talked about this, inherited traits are traits that can be passed down from one generation to the next. Remember, a generation is from parents to sibling to the children and to the grandchildren, things like that. Number 2, list of traits that can be inherited from our parents. This list is endless. You guys could easily come up with 10 different things. On the test itself, you will have to fill in, I think you have to check off like the 3 or 4 on that list that are inherited. So like eye color, hairstyle, hair like kind of like if it's curly or straight, that kind of hairstyle is what I mean by that. Dimples, freckles. You can get your height. You can also get your skin color. You also may inherit traits like a cleft chin, the widow's peak. So kind of thinking of those things that we saw on our traits video or on our survey that we did earlier this year. Those are the things that could be inherited. What is an example of a genotype? Remember, genotypes represent the genes. So those could be examples of the letters, like big T, big T, big T, little t, little t, little t. Those are all genotypes. Short, if I'm going to describe someone, short, the wording isn't a genotype, it is a phenotype. That is the description of what we see. Number 5. If the genotype T equals taster, what genotype would someone have if they are recessive? Well, remember, there are 2 types of genes. One is dominant and one is recessive. A dominant trait is bossy. We represent those bossy genes by giving them capital letters. Recessive genes aren't bossy. We give them the lowercase letters. Remember, for a gene to be recessive, it has to have 2 little letters. So in this case, it would be little t, little t. A few examples of dominant genotypes, that would be the big letter, or we might see it as a big letter, little letter. Those would be the examples of a dominant genotype. It doesn't matter what the letter is. It could be big R, little r. It really doesn't affect the gene, what letters you use. It just makes sure that you have at least one big letter. All right, let's look at question number 7. And I am going to continue with question number 7 in our next video. So go ahead and get caught up on questions 1 through 6, and I will be right back.